I.O.T, powering the digital economy. Brought to you by Schneider Electric.
Our whole approach to food and drink is changing fast. We want freshness, convenience, more choice. We're interested in healthier foods and ingredients that have been ethically and sustainably sourced. We expect a range of restaurants and quicker, more efficient delivery services. All this puts pressure on businesses in the B2C food and beverage sector. Digital technology is helping them adapt quickly to those changing consumer demands.
In this programme, we'll go to Italy to discover how the latest tech is helping an Italian company feed the world's ever-growing appetite for coffee. We'll find out how a disruptor company is using digital tech to drive growth in the online ordering and delivery sector. We'll talk to an expert about the regulatory issues affecting B2C food and beverage companies.
And we'll look at how digital technology will help food and beverage companies address future consumer demands. Plus, we'll look at the wider social ramifications of all these changes. Much of the vocabulary around coffee is Italian. Think espresso, cappuccino, latte. And the Italian company Lavazza has been supplying consumers with coffee since 1895. It started with one small shop here in Turin and has grown into an international brand with 6 manufacturing plants around the world, 3,000 employees and a brand new headquarters.
The company is still owned by the Lavazza family, and I'm here to meet Giuseppe Lavazza, Vice Chairman of the Lavazza Group. I asked Giuseppe about the vision behind the state-of-the-art HQ.
This building is very special because it's not just an headquarters. It's a mix of different buildings, putting together, of course, coffee as an industry, but at the same time, a social project. We decided to build this building following the highest standard of sustainability and of technological and environmental impact. The building is open to the public as well and the inhabitants of Turin. We have created a wonderful museum. It's not an historical museum, but it's a real coffee experience.
The museum offers an interactive and personalised experience.
You can use an interactive cup to gather information about what interests you around the museum and to change the displays.
Using the digitally enabled cup takes personalisation to another level, because at the end of your visit, all the information you've gathered is there for you to keep and share on social media.
It's about tapping into that consumer thirst for knowledge around where their caffeine fix comes from.
I asked Giuseppe about other ways consumer demands are changing.
The most relevant trends are mainly the personalization of the consumptions, the convenience, but at the same time we have other trends, as for example the shopping online. This of course is a big trend, and now also coffee industry is more and more affected by this way of buying products online, and at the same time a special focus on craftsmanship as well. So people want to be more educated about the products, they want to discover much more about the origin, the traceability as well, and with the digital technology we can support quite well this new kind of demand coming from the consumer.
Lavazza's recently launched a completely new content-rich website.
We can present a new kind of online shopping experience to our consumer with a huge range of different products. And the coffee arena is more and more dominated by new way of enjoying coffee. Not only instant, not only drip coffee, but for example, cold coffee as cold brew, capsule of course, different kind of espresso-based beverages, technology, I mean machine, able to prepare at home and away from home, And this complexity is matching very well with the digital transformation, because we are able really to deliver to each single customer a sort of a bespoke product.
Well, you're a brand with global reach, so that means that you've accumulated a lot of data. What are you doing with it?
We have decided to create a specific team working on big data we are collecting from our digital activity, especially from the traffic generated by our new website. We're very active also with the social media, especially because the company is very committed to many other activities and sponsorship. For example, sports sponsorship in tennis, a lot of cultural sponsorship. We use a lot of this content to create, of course, contacts and interaction with our consumer. It's not just a question of selling products. It's, of course, create a special relationship. And now, consumers now are choosing the products because, not only because the quality, but because there is a good fit also with the values of the company.
How are you helping your coffee bean growers engage with digital technology?
This is a very relevant part of our innovation approach towards the supply chain. Lavazza is very involved in running projects in the most important coffee producing country through the Giuseppe Pericle Lavazza Foundation we founded in 2004. Of course, at the beginning, the foundation was really aiming in trying to introduce in the local community or smallholder farmers a lot of best economical practices. But now with the digital transformation, we can do more. For example, we can introduce the connectivity in the field and help, for example, the coffee community in many countries, as for example Colombia, but Brazil or Vietnam or in Africa, to be connected and to have better support and better knowledge about the coffee system.
How has digital technology changed or helped how things work on your production lines?
We have introduced a lot of investments, titled in a special project called Industry 4.0. All our plants are totally automatized with the use and with a high usage of technology and digital innovation.
Lavazza is more than 120 years old, and its new headquarters is a symbol of its commitment to creativity and innovation. Grazie, Alberto. Oh my goodness, it's me. Alberto took my photo earlier. Customised coffee. Wow. I'm off now to a disruptor company in the food and beverage sector. It's also an international player, but it's barely 20 years old. Just Eat is a global marketplace for online food delivery, founded in Denmark in 2001. Its headquarters is now here in London.
Fernando Fanton has been Chief Product and Technology Officer at Just Eat since 2016. I asked him to tell me more about the extent of Just Eat's global operation.
We have more than 20 million customers all around the globe operating in 12 markets and more than 80,000 restaurants. So there's definitely quite a bit of scale on what we do.
What would you say that the gap was that Just Eat looked to fill?
A few years ago, you would pick up the phone and call a restaurant, but you may have like only 2 or 3 restaurants that you were aware of, and it was kind of a hassle and not very convenient. Today with Just Eat, you have like 100 cuisines that you can choose from. And therefore, when it's easier and convenient and you have much more options, it kind of grows the entire industry.
So convenience is a big selling point, also personalization.
Personalization just means that the more we know about your preferences, the easier we can make it just for you.
So what digital tech underpins the Just Eat model?
We have the consumer app, right, which is where the user goes and orders. We make it very easy for you to find all the restaurants that are available and also all the dishes. And then we have the other part, which is the restaurant, which is what we call an order pad, and it's a tablet basically, that when the order is received. And therefore is that digital connection that what we do today.
Fernando invited me to put the app to the test. I'm going to choose some lunch, order it and get it delivered.
Well, here we are. As you can see, these are my previous orders. But I'm going to search to see what we can find today. And like I said before, we have 100 cuisines. As you can see here, Caribbean, chicken, Chinese.
Let's go for Lebanese.
Yeah, so let's go to Lebanese. So these are all the restaurants we have open right now.
Pick one with a good rating.
This one, yeah,
Go
that
for
looks
it.
pretty good. So you can search directly what are today's offers or platters.
Okay, I'll have a platter of full messe.
Okay, there we go.
Cheese.
Which is add it, and then you select mixed grill or shawarma, mixed grill.
Yes, please.
Okay, add to order. Done. There you go.
And that's it.
That's it.
It seems quite straightforward. What have you done to refine it to this point?
Well, we do a lot of user testing, user research in our labs or in the street, which is called guerrilla user testing. And it's just going on the street, meeting people, get them to try the app. And we also always mark anything that is confusing or difficult, and we make sure that the solution that we choose is actually something that makes it easier.
So you're constantly finessing it.
We're constantly, every single day, testing it and making it better.
We know about the Just Eat app, but there are other platforms that customers can use, can't they, to order their lunch?
Yes, we're a platform. I want to be in every channel that customers use. So if it's at Fire TV or Xbox, if you're playing a game and you want to order a pizza, we also offer you the chance to select the food we Just Eat. One platform that we have today, and we believe might grow quite a bit, is voice. Whether it's with Alexa or all the other devices that are coming out.
Alexa, ask Just Eat to reorder.
Your last order from Yushoku was 2 days ago, when you had clam and enoki miso. This was £5.50. Do you want to continue with this order from Yushoku?
Yes.
If that's all good, say pay now.
Pay now.
The vision is really to use voice to almost be that kind of advisor in the middle, suggesting options that you could have for that day. And if they know what your interests are, it makes it even easier. So we're very excited of the future that voice might have.
You're showing customers what's out there. What's in it for the restaurants?
Well, for the restaurants, we're bringing the customers to them. We make it easy for them to highlight the dishes or the things that make them unique and get more customers, get more orders. That's really at its core what we provide to them.
Just Eat also collects vast amounts of data around consumer demands and behaviour, which it analyses and shares with its restaurant partners.
We'll recommend them things that we know are going to grow their business. For example, if we knew that introducing a new dish, which particular traits on a Tuesday will be, or an offer will give them more customers, we'll let them know that that's an option that they have to choose. Or if we tell them that they should reduce or enlarge the area so they can have, again, more customers, we'll share that information with them. So it's basically like an advisor to help them grow their business.
So as you grow, you're helping the restaurant community grow their businesses too?
Yeah, we'll only grow as much as the restaurant community grows.
How are you using AI to stay ahead of the competition?
We're in Canada as well, and the company is called Skip the Dishes. And we do a lot of deliveries there, right? So we basically connect drivers to restaurants and customers to deliver the food. The predictive capability of AI comes very handy because it allows you to know, 2 days before, let's say if it's rainy or depending on the weather, how much demand you're going to have, and therefore make sure that you have enough drivers to fulfill that demand.
How much of a challenge is it to keep that startup mentality?
Well, I think the industry, this particular industry, moves so fast that you almost have to have entrepreneurial mentality, I would say, because 1 year ago, if you look at the landscape, it was quite different, and the needs of our customers are different. Now they demand more and more things.
Anything to do with food and drink production must be closely regulated to ensure it's safe for you and me. But there are other new and different regulatory challenges facing the food and beverage sector today. Find out more in part 2. Food and beverage companies are facing challenges, not only in meeting changing consumer expectations, but also in addressing changing regulatory regimes.
Mike Jameson is segment president of food and beverage at Schneider Electric and an expert on the food and beverage industry.
If you look on the B2C side with regards to the regulations and how it impacts the consumers, the Food Safety Modernisation Act in the US or the EU regulation around food and feed safety, they're focused more on the manufacturer to make sure he knows who he's bought from and who he's selling to. But if there is a contaminant in there which affects the consumer, These regulations make sure that they can recall the product quickly. In relation to the preparation side, so like in restaurants, fast food, there's always been very strong regulation there about cleanliness of premises, auditing them to make sure that they're compliant with operating procedures, changing oils, etc. So that's always been apparent. But you're also starting to see some of these broader legislations, things like labelling, now to become apparent in these prepared food outlets.
Giuseppe Lavazza told me about the regulatory regimes Lavazza must comply with.
The most important are connected to, of course, the quality and the safety of our products. Every single batch of coffee, I can say every single bean of coffee that Lavazza uses is controlled in terms of safety procedure, and then of course at the end even the final products are absolutely checked to have the maximum standard of quality and control. In the same time, we have to fulfill other kind of standards in terms, for example, of waste, in terms of recyclability, in terms of uses of specific volumes of materials inside our manufacturing processes.
One of the biggest challenges on the B2C side is data protection. There's already very strong legislation in place in Europe and going to get stronger around being able to get access to consumer intelligence.
If you think about the digital economy, everybody has to process data. So it's very important for customers that there is regulation or controls to make sure that the data is used for what it should be.
And what assurances are you giving to your customers that their data is safe and you're not sharing it with people that you shouldn't be?
One of the good things for us, of course, is that our business model is not about advertising, let's say, right? So it's about providing orders, it's about growing orders for the restaurants. And therefore, that's why I think that having regulations like GDPR, for example, is a great thing because it helps the industry raise the level.
The European GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, came into force in May 2018 and addresses consumer concerns around the privacy of the data they share with companies.
Building trust is something the digital economy has to do, particularly as it becomes much more relevant today than it was 5 years ago, right?
What impacts will GDPR in Europe have across your global business?
It raises the bar of where the requirements are, and therefore you will take that improvements that are made and take it to other countries.
Mike Jameson says that more and more food and beverage companies are having to deal with data protection regulations.
Many food and beverage companies were maybe a step removed from the consumer because they sold through retailers. The introduction of omni-channels, being able to sell direct to the consumer, is emerging at an exceptional rate, and it's one of the most visible impacts of digitization today is the amount of manufacturers that are now selling direct to the consumer.
Lavazza is one of these companies, and Giuseppe Lavazza welcomes the GDPR.
The new regulation will have a very positive impact because consumer need to be protected by the new technology as well. The new technology represents a great advantage if you use it properly, and the company, of course, is ready to adopt and to be compliant to all the requests that are coming out from the new regulation.
Consumer demands are prompting change in the regulatory regimes in the food and beverage sector. But what patterns of consumer behaviour around eating and drinking can we expect in the future? And how will companies use digital tech to adapt? We'll find out in part 3. At this market in central London, there's a mouth-watering array of food and drink on offer. And of course, produce has been bought and sold in markets like this for centuries. But what does the future have in store for food and beverage companies? And what role will digital technology play?
Digital transformation help a company like Lavazza, 123 years old, to be more than contemporary, to be really looking at the future and trying to invent something that never existed yet, like for example a digital cappuccino.
Lavazza's inventive coffee designers are producing futuristic forms of coffee and new tastes like coffee caviar.
It's a surprise. The texture and the feeling you have is exactly the same of a real caviar, but with a very unexpected taste.
You're a global brand, but there are some parts of the world where I know you'd like to be bigger.
The dream is to use the digital technology and the digital transformation to make Lavazza more global. The United States is one of our priority. We are not such a big company, United States, so you need to be very smart and to invest our money very well. And digital can offer you the chance of be relevant and promote your products, to try to be in touch with your community. And if you offer them a good storytelling, good content, and the digital transformation can help you in doing that in a very efficient way without spending a huge amount of money, you can be very well supported in your international strategy.
Storm Fagan, Just Eat's head of global product, told me about future digital innovation at Just Eat.
In the short term, we're looking at personalisation and how we use machine learning. And then over the next few years, personalisation will increase and it'll also move into new platforms, for example, as voice assistants like Alexa and Siri become more popular.
Talk me through your ideal future Just Eat ordering scenario.
For me, it's almost seamless into your lifestyle, so you're not even really aware of ordering. It's as simple as having a conversation with your partner and you're talking about what takeaway to order of an evening. And as natural as that conversation is, a voice assistant like Amazon Alexa will join in with your conversation. It will know how many people are in your home and what sort of food you like, and they can start recommending food options to you. Rather than us having to go to a website, it's almost as if Just Eat will exist in your home with you. Everyone's busier, everyone's working longer hours. And as technology changes, it's able to provide a more seamless digital experience. So the products that you use understand you better, they're able to help you make decisions and help you reduce stress in your life.
I asked Giuseppe what place robotics will have in coffee production in the future.
Especially in the coffee producing country, I think that robotics can change the way of farming in a very positive way. I mean, of course, we need to have more coffee for the future. I think technology can help quite a lot. For example, technology can help to mitigate the effect of the climate change, building new models and try to create a new strategy to diminish this terrible hazard that can really devastate the coffee community. And robotics, very interesting. We know that in farming, as in agribusiness, robotics can have a huge application in many different occasions. So in the coffee area, that's the same.
At Just Eat, Storm Fagan told me that robots have already arrived.
So we're already trialling robots for delivery at the moment in a couple of cities in the UK, and that's going really well. They travel along the pavement at walking pace. They go to the restaurant, they pick up the food, and then they deliver it to your house. And we're looking to scale that out over the next few years, and that means that restaurants can deliver more orders of an evening because the robots can take over the simple, close-by homes that need delivery, and delivery drivers can then go further afield. And at the same time, we're probably going to see more automation in restaurants as well. So for example, at Zuma in the US, where robots are preparing the food as human supervisors watch on.
Lavazza will be taking espresso into extraterrestrial markets.
We design and we produce this special machine, and we call IS Espresso. It's a machine designed to work in the International Space Station and provide to the astronauts a real cup of great coffee that they can enjoy using a special pouch. We had another incredible experience with another Italian astronaut using a very special cup that allowed to this man not only to enjoy a cup of coffee, but to enjoy the aroma coming out from a cup of coffee. So this is just a hint of what is possible to do.
Remember I ordered my lunch via Just Eat from a Lebanese restaurant? It's just arriving.
Well, here it is, looking delicious, and got it using digital tech. Our eating habits have changed massively, even over the past 5 years. And the food and beverage companies who are going to succeed are the ones with the agility and the vision to react quickly to new and insatiable consumer demands. Investment in digital technology will play a crucial part of that.
I.O.T. Powering the Digital Economy. Brought to you by Schneider Electric.